is Becky, and this is a hand knit letter, a show and tell about the stuff I've made and the stuff I want to make. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's talk about knitting. Today I'm wearing the Wrapped in Gray Bow shawl by Lint. I made this, I think in 2022 maybe. I'll put some pictures of me wearing it. I just have it wrapped around my shoulders right now. I really love it. It's an asymmetrical shawl with some striping and a picot border on one edge. It was a lot of fun to knit. Different stitch patterns throughout the shawl to keep you interested in it, and I really love it. It's a little difficult to style because it's kind of big. I don't usually wear it wrapped around my neck unless I'm going outside because it just becomes too much because it's a thicker weight. I think this is a DK. So I usually just kind of wear it around my shoulders, or if I'm going to go outside and it's cold, then I'll wrap it around my neck like a traditional scarf. But this is usually how I wear it, and I like it a lot. I love the colors in it. The colors feel very me, and I really like them. So yeah, Wrapped in Gray Bow by Lint. I think I test knit this. I think this might have been my first test knit I ever did. Maybe. I'm not a big test knitter. I will occasionally if I really like the pattern and I'm super excited about it. But generally I would just want everyone else to do it first so that I can see what they've done and see how it fits, and then I'll try it. Yeah, unless I'm super duper excited about it, I generally don't do many test knits. I'll say that and then it'll be the year of test knits. Actually, I hope not. It's too much pressure. Okay, so let's get straight into stuff I've made. So I have the Grid Gambit cowl by Samantha Caron. I showed this on my last podcast while it was still in the works, and it is completed now. I made this with my mom in mind, and I thought if I loved it too much I would keep it, but I think it'll just look so beautiful on her. She has, if you think my hair is white, her hair is pure white, and just the coloring will look really beautiful on her. I knit this out of a gifted skein from my friend Lori of Junction Fiber Mill, making tracks in the color Lookout Ledge. And the main color is Harrisville Daylights in the color Lint. It's their color that has like a purple hue to it. I love both of these yarns. They knit up, I feel like, very soft. It's not like merino soft, but I don't feel like it's scratchy, and I don't feel like it would bother me to have it around my neck. I don't think it'll bother my mom to have it around her neck, so I think it'll be nice. I think these colors will look beautiful on my mom, so I'm going to gift this to her. This is so much fun to knit. I loved every second of it, and I was sad when it was finished. And that's rare. Usually I'm ready for something that I have spent my time with it to the point where, like, okay, you may leave now, on with something else. But this was like, do you have to really go? Can't you stay another day? I really did enjoy this. I'm definitely gonna make another one. Which I always watch her podcast the moment it comes out. My best friend Casey Apple, she has a podcast, which I know you know. If you're watching me, I don't know how you don't know her. It's Young Folk Knits. She just recently put out her favorites of 2024, and this pattern was one of her favorites. And I agree with her. I think it's fantastic. It doesn't take a lot of time. You get a lot of bang for your buck as far as entertainment, clarity in the pattern. It looks amazing, and it's just a really beautiful design. So I think that Samantha did such a great job with this one. I'll put it on really quick so you can see what it looks like on. I did modify it in just one very little way. In the back where you seam it up, I did not seam it up very far. I got this idea from Leanne of the Knitty Stew, our favorite knitting stewardess. She did this with one of Andrea Maurier's cowls so that it laid nicer on the shoulders, and it also didn't kind of like choke up on the neck, and I thought that was a really good idea. I also seamed I think it's one of the shift things, whatever the cowl is called. I don't know if it's the night shift or the shifty or just the shift. One of those is a cowl, and you seam it up very similar to this. Leanne did it that way where she didn't fully seam it all the way down, and I thought that was a great idea. I know Casey has done that too on a couple cowls where she didn't seam it fully shut, and it just lays really nice on the shoulders. And I know my mom would like that a little better because she always tends to pull cowls and shrugs around her shoulders because her shoulders hurt. So I thought this will be nice for her. I'll put it on really quick. And then I'll open it up. So if it was seamed all the way down, I don't think that you'd be able to open it up as far. You might. I mean, yours might be bigger. May have blocked yours out larger. I think this will look really good. Oh, these cobwebs. I love it. I love the yarn. I love the pattern. I loved making it. It's one of my favorites as well. So I'm definitely gonna make another one. I don't know with what yet. I'm gonna go to a yarn festival in March in Nashville, and this is one of the projects I hope to find yarn for because I don't get to shop in person at yarn stores very often because I live in the middle of nowhere. Usually my yarn is purchased online. I usually don't get to see the yarn in person. That's rare occasions. So I would like to pick this out in person. So that's one of the things I'm gonna shop for when I go is the grid Gambit. So I loved it, and I think you should make it, and I think you'll love it too. Okay, so that's it for stuff I've made. Let's get right into stuff I'm making. So currently I have a cardigan on my needles. This one is called the Jacob's Cardigan by Noragon. I think I had it, I think I was going to start it, or I had already started it last podcast, but it's still on the needles, and it will be for some time because I'm not a super fast knitter. This is really beautiful, and it is also really tangled. Okay, so here is the Jacob's cardigan. It is a bottom-up cardigan with kind of like an open, it's like an open front cardigan. It doesn't have a button band. It has no buttons or zipper or anything. It's just open, and it has kind of a shawl collar. I'll insert some pictures of it here. I'm knitting this out of Purl Soho's Good Wool in the color Wild Mustard. This yarn feels really beautiful. I have heard from some people that this is a pilly yarn. I can't speak to that yet. So far it hasn't pilled while I'm moving it around and knitting on it. So we shall see. I have some more Good Wool for two other projects, and we will see what happens with this one before I start those. But so far, I love this yarn. I love the feel of it. I think it's beautiful. This is a 30-row repeat, bottom up, and yeah. So I'm just plugging away at it. I think I've got 2.5 repeats right now so far. I'm not sure how many I'll need. I got to get up to, I think, 15 inches, and then I will start splitting for the front and back. I really hope to also get this done by March. This might be a nice piece to wear to the yarn festival because you never know what the weather's going to be like in the South in March, especially the beginning of March. It could be snowing, it could be torrential rains, it could be 80 degrees. You have no idea. Spring is a very crazy time here, which I'm sure it is a lot of places, but it's a gamble. A cardigan would be really nice because if I get hot, I can take it off. And it is a DK weight. It's not super thick, and I think that will be nice too. So let's see if I get that finished in time, and if I do, I will wear it. So number 2 in stuff I'm making is a hat. And I'm knitting a hat for my cousin. She's a lot younger than me. She's more like a niece, but her favorite color is pink. I have never knit her anything before, and I feel ashamed to say that. Well, maybe I did when she was a baby, but I haven't knit anything else for her in recent times, and she always comments on my knits, and so I think she needs a hat. Her favorite color is pink, so I chose to make it in pink. This is just a simple yarn that I picked up at Joann. I think it'll be easy for her to care for. This is Yarnspiration's Caron Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing in the color Orchid Frost. So that's what the tag looks like. And it's a color changing yarn. It's like a gradient. I did have a lot more pink of this white pink that I kind of just cut off the skein because I didn't want almost the entire hat to be that light color, and there was a good amount of the light pink. So I cut that off and wound it up for something else in the future. And yeah, I'm just making the classic ribbed hat by Purl Soho. It's just a standard cuffed hat that you can wear down. Oh, she's gonna have to cuff this because I'm knitting it for the adult. I'm knitting the size adult medium, but I'm knitting it the length of the adult large. That was a good tip that I got from Stephanie of Edible Thoughts Makes. That's how she knits her classic ribbed hat, and I think it's a great idea. I think the cuff is a nicer length when you do it that way. It covers the ears more. And so the last couple classic ribbed hats, I've done it Stephanie's way. So this is the adult medium knit to the length of the adult large. I got probably another inch or half an inch to go before I start doing the crown shaping, and it will get, hopefully I can get into some of this darker color. I might color manage it a little bit more to get a little bit more of that darker pink in there, but it's got a nice kind of fuzzy halo on it, and I know that Molly is gonna love this. I think it's gonna be really cute on her. She's got really dark, almost black brown hair and like turquoisey blue eyes. So this is gonna look really pretty on her. So the last project and stuff I'm making is the Pressed Flowers Kerchief by Amy Christophers. And I am making this out of, let me see. This is Purl Soho Daily wool, and the color Lake Blue and Olive Tree. Let me hold that still so you can see that a little bit better. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is halfway. So this is pretty small. I know it's a kerchief, so kerchiefs are going to be small, but this is a lot smaller than I expected. So, I mean, like if we were gonna try to put it around our necks, let's see here, let's try to put this at the back here. It would tie like that. What is this? A kerchief for ants? If you know the movie reference, if you're stupid like me, type it in the comments. Anyway, it's gonna need more repeats for me, especially. It might be my gauge or my yarn choice. I don't really swatch for kerchiefs or shawls, but I noticed on the Ravelry pages of the projects of this kerchief that people added a lot more repeats, which are super easy to do. It's not a big deal. You don't have to be smart to do it. Just before you get to the center, just keep adding until you like the length. It's not big enough to do anything with, in my opinion. So I'm going to make it larger, and then I'll like it. Free pattern, delightful pattern, just small. So let's talk about stuff I wanna make. And stuff I wanna make. Recently, my friend Maureen gifted me a pattern that I've been wanting for a while. It's called the Carol sweater by Julia Wilkins. No, yep, yes, it is. Carol sweater by Julia Wilkins. I love this sweater so much. It's me. I really, really like it. Want to knit it out of Gilliat, the Durarum Natura, one of the Durarum Natura yarns, but everywhere I'm searching online, I cannot find enough Gilliat in the color that I want for the base color. So I'm just gonna wait till that gets restocked somewhere and then pick that up. I even tried the Durarum Natura site, and they didn't have enough of the main color for me. I'm sure they'll restock it and they'll pick it up. I think I like to make it with like a stone kind of cream color, or there's one that is kind of like a natural color with almost like a blue hue to it. Maybe one of those two, but the color work inside of it, I would like to have like a cobalt blue, and then like a really orangey red, and then maybe some type of yellow. I think that would look like Becky. I'm waiting on that. So that's something that I want to make, but something that I have available to me now that I would like to make is the Vertices Unite shawl by Stephen West. I even knit a little sample swatch to see how I like the colors. A while back, I showed that, I think, in one of my podcasts, and it's this little guy. It's so cute. But this is knit out of the Lamb & Kid Birdie in different colors. I don't have the tags offhand, but when I go to knit this, I will make sure I have the colors to share with you. I'm gonna knit, there's 2 sizes of the Vertices Unite. I'm gonna knit the smaller one. It's not a small kerchief, but it's not that giant shawl. It's an in-between. I think that would be easier for me to style. But this is so light and nice. I think that I would enjoy having this as an accessory. So I think I'm gonna cast this on soon as I get one of those other side projects off the needles. I wanna focus on my Jacob's cardigan, but I also like to have other things going, so if I get bored. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start my Vertices Unite and then start planning for spring knits. Next month I have to start my spring seed starting. So might as well start planning for some spring knits too, because it'd be nice to have them done for the spring and summer. I actually forgot about this. It was in a bag inside of another bag. And then so when I was cleaning out my craft supplies, I was moving it over to our spare room to kind of have a multi-purpose room, and I was going through my things and then I found it and I was like, oh, that's nice. It's kind of like when you find a crisp dollar bill in your pocket and you're like, wow, I'm rich. So let's talk about stuff you made. @GeekyRose on Instagram. She made a sweater by Fable Knitwear and it is so cute and she is so cute. She has a really cool vintage aesthetic and she made this out of Woolberry Fiber Co.'s Anne of Green Gables series or set that they put out, and she has all the colors in this Instagram post, and I'll link her Instagram down below. Jessica from Fifth Lamp Down, she made this for a coworker's baby. This is the Sarche booties, and she added the little like leaves on them, and it's so cute. And I love the hat that she made to go with it. Lastly, we have Felicia of Everly Fibers. She crocheted this beautiful blanket. It was a test crochet that she did, and she said it is made out of loops and threads, and it's called the Romantica blanket. Yeah, Romantica blanket. And she said this is more for an intermediate or advanced crocheter, which it looks like it to me. I don't know anything about crochet. I can do a chain, and one time I made a granny square, so that's all I know. But it's so pretty. I love it. And Felicia is a very talented crocheter and knitter. If you're interested in sharing what you've made with us, we would love to see it. So if it's knit, crochet, sewn, if it's beadwork, pottery, cross stitch, anything that you make with your hands that's a craft, we would love to see it. So you can share that with me at AHandKnitLetter@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram account name is a.handknit.letter. Let's talk about stuff you should watch. So I got 2 podcasts to share with you. One that I have watched for a very long time, and I usually never miss an episode. That's Sophie's podcast of Cozy Meadow Knits. She is so sweet, and she makes very classy, I think all of her colors and her choices are very classy and feminine and just really beautiful. She lives in Canada. It's just a lovely company to have while you're knitting. So go check out Sophie if you haven't already seen her. I love Sophie. So next up is a newer to me podcast, but I am having the best time catching up with her and watching her past podcasts as well. Her name is Kelly, and her channel is called Terrain Fiber. And Kelly's a cool girl. I like her style, I like her color choices. She recently made a super cool cowl with color work and mousse on it. And then she shared it's like a jacket or a cardigan, but like a bulky weight one that I also want to make. I can't remember the name of it, Kelly, but I'll have to look back at it. But I was like, oh, I need that too. Okay, so my 2 movies I want to share with you. One is called Stranger Than Fiction. It's a story of a man who is just going about his daily life, and all of a sudden he hears the voice of a narrator, and this narrator is talking about him, about the stuff he's doing and about what he's about to do, and some of the things that the narrator says that are going to happen to him becomes concerning to him. And the fact that he's hearing a narrator is concerning to him. It has Will Ferrell, Emma Thompson, a whole bunch of other people that you'd recognize. And also, this is a PSA that Pride and Prejudice is available on YouTube. It's like it jumps around from where it's at. Sometimes it's on Prime, sometimes it's on Netflix, sometimes it's on Hulu. Well, right now it's on YouTube for free. And this is the Keira Knightley, Matthew Macfadyen version. I love this version a lot. It's not my favorite version. My favorite is the BBC with Colin Firth, but this one is very good. Sometimes if I just don't know what to watch and I just want something on in the background, I'll put on Pride and Prejudice. So it's available right now. So if you don't know what to watch, watch that. What I'm reading. I was listening to a book called The Shadow of the Wind by somebody. Savon. Yeah, his last name was Savon. Carlos Ruiz Savon, it came to me. But I probably got an hour, maybe an hour and 15 into it, and I was just like, I hate everybody in here. I stopped reading it, and then I kind of got curious, like, am I missing out? Should I keep reading it or listening to it? And then I was like, I'm just gonna look at Goodreads and see what people say. And then I'm gonna look, then I went ahead and read like the entire like plot summary, and I was like, oh no. If you like that book, I don't mean anything about you and your taste. Personally, I just didn't like it. So I stopped because it's my prerogative. Now listening to Daphne du Maurier's Jamaica Inn. And Rebecca is probably one of my favorite novels of all time. Not because that's like my name, but because I just loved it. So I read it probably when I was like 14, and it was moody, and there was like a love affair, and it was kind of scary. So I really was into it. And it's an excellent, excellent book. And so I thought, oh, I'm gonna try Jamaica Inn. It, you could definitely tell it's a du Maurier novel. It's got kind of like that gothic romance, like shrouded in mystery. The Libby summary of that said that she's tempted to love a man that she dares not trust. So I thought that sounds like fun. Rebecca, the movie, is available on YouTube. The old version. The newer version I didn't think it was good, and it wasn't like the book. And I'm one of those annoying people who say the book was better, because it usually is. But then I judge the movie harshly. I thought the older version with Laurence Olivier was done really well. You can watch that here on YouTube. The opening sequence is always something I like to say. You ever just repeat phrases from things in your head and it doesn't like fit? But I repeat that a lot in my head. Last night I dreamt of Mandalay again. I also repeat, I had a farm in Africa at the foot of the Ingong Hills. Who knows why? So that's all I got to show and all I got to tell. I would like to start posting a little bit more frequently. Let's see, I'm gonna try. I was hoping to make at least 2 podcasts a month, and maybe one like vlog of stuff I got up to throughout the month. Or if you would just rather have the traditional podcast, 2 a month, hopefully, let me know down in the comments below. So that's all I have to show and all I have to tell. I hope you're doing well, and I wish you well. Until next time, bye-bye.
Last night, I dreamt I went to Mandalay again. It seemed to me I stood by the iron gate leading to the drive.